This is going to be an incredibly special extreme philately experience for me.
If you have watched this channel before, you'll know that stamps have taken me on adventures to explore some fascinating topics and places. But there's one topic that I enjoy collecting more than any other: rhinos. Magnificent animals that may be running out of time. With all 5 species either being endangered or threatened, including the critically endangered black rhino. With the urgency of their survival in mind, I felt it was time to dive deeper and let a stamp lead me on another adventure. This time to South Africa to learn more about these beautiful creatures.
So can I get a close-up experience and an extreme philately photo using this South African standard postage stamp? Let's see.
The stamp I brought on this adventure was first issued in 1993 as part of a set featuring endangered animals. This South African definitive displays a black rhino as labeled at the bottom center. But when initially issued, it had the scientific name Diceros bicornis. It is not the only stamp that is coming along on this trip. I did bring 3 other rhino stamps from South Africa, all of which feature a white rhino and one of them dating back to the 1950s. We kicked off our adventure with a safari in the renowned Kruger National Park, one of Africa's largest game reserves, which is about the same size as Wales in the UK or my home state of New Jersey in the US. It was the perfect chance to witness an incredible variety of wildlife. We actually saw 4 of the famous Big 5: leopard, Cape buffalo, lion, and elephant. And I did try some extreme philately with the elephant, but it was a fail.
Come back. No.
Not interested.
The missing member of the Big 5 that we did not see on our day-long safari was the rhino. And sadly, it was unlikely that we would see any that day.
The rhinoceros has been on the planet for millions of years, but it could be gone in our lifetime.
Poachers, often armed with high-caliber weapons, continue to strike.
This represents wealth. It's known as grey gold, and retailers will pay up to $100,000 a kilo.
More than 8,500 African rhinos have been killed for their horns, most of them here in South Africa.
Vietnam and China are considered the 2 largest markets. Horns are used in traditional medicine for hangovers, to reduce fever, even cure cancer, although there is no scientific evidence to support these claims.
Kruger National Park has been the hardest hit. Carcasses are discovered on a daily basis. At the current rate of poaching, authorities say the animal faces certain extinction.
Another consequence of poaching is that rhino calves are often left orphaned.
Is she one of your favorites?
One of my favorites, yeah.
Our rhino adventure took us to a very special place. An opportunity to volunteer for a couple weeks at a rhino sanctuary dedicated to helping rescued orphans. Rhino calves depend on their mothers for milk until they are approximately 17 months old and can stay with them for up to 4 years. Without the protection of their mothers, they are completely vulnerable and will die from starvation, dehydration, or attacks from predators such as lions and hyenas. Since the poaching epidemic began in 2011, the Careful Wild Sanctuary has helped to rescue well over 120 rhinos and work with them in a rewilding program to ultimately return them to their natural habitat. Many of these orphans arrive in a fragile state, often with wounds and significant trauma. The team and volunteers at Careful Wild have been a vital lifeline for securing the future of these beautiful animals. Our volunteer responsibilities included the preparation of food and milk, feeding the younger orphans, and the bigger kids as well. And of course, doing a number of physical chores that allowed us to appreciate the hard work needed to keep these fairly large babies happy and protected. Of course, this is also where I got to do some extreme philately, starting with Willow, the white rhino, who eagerly stepped up for a photo opportunity. This stamp from 2018 is the most recently issued of the rhino stamps that I brought, and the only self-adhesive. It is an airmail postcard stamp to use on international postcards and was issued in a set featuring the Big Five. This includes the elephant stamp that you saw earlier in this video. I purchased this stamp with the full set in a really neat booklet during our safari at the Kruger Park. Well, I purchased a couple so that I could keep one in my collection and try use the other on postcards. Each of the stamps mention the photographer and label the image, in this case, white rhinoceros, with the scientific name as well. Willow is a gorgeous example of a white rhino, but she does have a noticeably different feature from the stamp: her horns. While the 2018 stamp shows off an impressive horn, Willow's horn has been cut off or dehorned. Rhino horns of course grow back over time just like hair or nails, but rhinos are dehorned for conservation purposes, a common practice to discourage poachers and protect the rhino, like our new friend Willow. Thank you for the photo, Willow. For the next stamp, I wanted to include an icon in rhino conservation, a hero that is responsible for helping 13 orphans during her time at the Care for Wild Sanctuary. Meet Diana. This incredible mother has been a foster parent for 13 orphans over the years, stepping in to welcome and look after calves that have recently lost their mothers to poaching. I was so moved and impressed with Diana's story, I just had to pair her with an iconic South African stamp, one that has definitely made its way into stamp albums around the world. This 1959 stamp is part of the beloved Kruger Park series featuring South African wildlife, a must-have set of stamps for any South Africa or wildlife collector. The colors of our rhino stamp are described as chocolate and turquoise blue, making our 3-penny white rhino pop on the stamp. And while South Africa is written in both English and Afrikaans, our rhino isn't labeled as a white or black rhino, although the other stamps in this video include a label. So this is a quick opportunity to point out the differences between the two African rhino species, as they do not differ significantly in color as their name suggests. White rhinos, such as this one, have a square or wide lip used for grazing. It is said that that is how they got their name, a wide rhino that was misheard as white rhino. The black rhino has a pointed lip used for eating leaves off branches. Black rhinos are smaller and their behavior is quite different, but when identifying rhinos on stamps, start by looking at their face and their lip. I'm quite pleased by my second extreme philately picture, as Diana the white rhino and hardworking mom now has a special place in my collection. While I had enjoyed working with the white rhinos, I was eager to see some of the black rhinos in the sanctuary, and so I got the lunch duty to go out and feed them. This was my opportunity to see a critically endangered species. Of the 5 species of rhinos that exist in the world, 3 are considered critically endangered. The Sumatran and Javan rhinos are near extinct, well under 100. And the black rhino is also critically endangered, with current poaching trends threatening its fragile population. The greater one-horned rhino is vulnerable but in a more stable state than the black rhino, and the white rhino is near threatened with a declining population. This, of course, is the southern white rhino, as the northern white rhino is sadly down to 2 females remaining in Kenya. But the stamp I brought that started this whole adventure was about to be part of an up-close experience. With a fresh lunch now served and a few extreme philately photos with some good looking rhinos, including Phoebe and this one, Taru, our trip was officially a success. At this point, we didn't think our experience could be any cooler. But the rangers, who were quite fascinated with our stamp activities, had one more surprise for us. When we arrived, an older white rhino orphan named Sabeva, who had already been rewilded, surprised the Care for Wild team by giving birth to a baby girl. By our last day, Sabeva was starting to let the Care for Wild team see her new baby, and we were invited to see her as well.
There is the mother, Sabeva.
I had one more stamp with me that happened to have a mother and baby. This large standardized postage stamp issued in 1995 is part of a tourism series that featured attractions in each of the South African provinces. This one is highlighting KwaZulu-Natal, which isn't the province that we were in, but we were close enough in neighboring Mpumalanga. But this stamp has a mother and her baby calf white rhino, a stamp that I've had since I was a young collector, and now a chance to actually see a mother and her very new young calf in person. The very reason for the sanctuary was to support the orphans that had lost their mothers from poaching, but here an orphan was able to have children of her own and raise them under the watchful protection of an anti-poaching unit. Seeing the 2-week-old baby calf and her mom was a highlight for us in what was an experience of a lifetime. Rhinos became so much more than just a stamp topic to collect. Working with these beautiful animals really strengthened our connection to a cause that we will forever support. Yes, I leave with some epic extreme philately pictures for my collection, but we also left a part of our hearts with the new friends we made.
Just amazing. It is heartbreaking that these beautiful creatures are vanishing before our very eyes. If you'd like to learn more about the Care for Wild Sanctuary and the work they do to raise orphans that are victims of poaching, I'll leave a number of links in the video description below, including an opportunity to donate if you're interested. As always, thank you for watching and happy exploring.